Just a reminder of the lineups. Onana in goal for United. Manchester United, that is. Dalot, Casemiro, Maguire and Wan-Bissaka in the back four. Ericsson and Mainu with Anthony, Bruno Fernandes and Garnacho behind Højlund. For Sheffield United, Fotheringham in front of him, Holgate, Ahmedhodzic and Trusty, Bogle and Osborne wing-backs, Brooks, Arblaster and Harmer, Archer and Brereton Diaz, and Manchester United in their red shirts, white shorts, black socks get us underway on TalkSport 2, kicking from left to right as we look. Mickey and I sat halfway up the Bobby Charlton stand, the south stand to our right. That's the end that Manchester United are attacking. Sheffield United fans in the southeast corner. Sheffield United in their change strip tonight of all yellow. Ball breaks for Diogo Dalot, who goes for goal. It's tipped over the bar by Fotheringham for an early corner for Manchester United. Stepped in field for the left-hand side. Dalot cracked it. Goal was with his left foot. Fotheringham acrobatically tipped it over for a corner in these early seconds for the home side.
Well, talk about a positive start, and that's exactly how you want to start in front of your home fans. Great play down the right-hand side, confidence, finished off with a super strike from probably Man United's best player this season, Dalot.
Fernandes will have the corner at that southeast corner in front of the Sheffield United fans. Into the near post, volleyed back to him by Brereton Diaz. Tries again Fernandes with a cross. Flicked to the far post by Højlund. It's cleared away by Ahmedhodzic. Lofted across the penalty area by Casemiro. But it drifts behind for a Sheffield United goal kick at 0-0. And we're barely into the second minute. And already Manchester United have shown their intent.
Well, it's nice and positive, isn't it? And I think that's what everybody wanted to see. I do question the bravery of Christian Eriksen in that moment where he was going to get challenged with a header and turned his back, and it ended up being a nice pass to Casemiro.
Jayden Bogle trying to make tracks down the Sheffield United right, so they're wearing that all-yellow chain strip tonight, the Blades. Ball's back with the former Blade, Harry Maguire. Played 166 times for the Blades until he left a decade ago and ended up here in 2019, and he's in possession again. Harry Maguire, 0-0, 2 minutes gone on TalkSport 2 here at Old Trafford on a clear spring evening. Still some remnants of blue sky overhead as it starts to darken above our heads, and the floodlights will soon start to take effect around this famous old stadium.
Well, Sheffield United is going to be interesting tonight, Dan, because this is how Coventry set up in the first half with the wing-backs, three centre-halves. But they never really got the wing-backs involved in the game until they made that change, Mark Robbins, in the second 45 minutes on Sunday. But if they can get the ball wide, Sheffield United, they can cause Man United a lot of problems with their pace.
Here's Ben Osborne in that left wing-back position, finds Andre Brooks. And now Cameron Archer finds Brooks down the left-hand side of the area, sends the cross in, he's offside as he sent the cross in, and Arla claimed it comfortably enough anyway. And referee Michael Salisbury says, don't need a free kick, just play on at 0-0, 3 gone.
Well, I like the movement, showing a little bit of confidence, Sheffield United, not frightened to pick up that ball in those central areas, but you need options, and they certainly had them there. Andre Brooks, willing runner, just timed his run a little bit too quick, but keep on trying it. You're not going to be offside every single time, and that's an option for them when they do get it behind.
Ball's out of play as Wan-Bissaka tried to get away down this near side, the Manchester United right. Brooks slid in. Game's underway elsewhere then. Wolves and Bournemouth are about 20 minutes in at Molineux. That's on the TalkSport app right now, 0-0. Also 0-0 at Crystal Palace, Newcastle, again on the app. And over on TalkSport, the Merseyside derby's just got underway with Sam Matterface and Stuart Pearce. That's also goalless. Here at Old Trafford, Manchester United have possession and work it out to the left-hand side for Alejandro Garnacho. Taking on Bogle, gets to level with the Sheffield United penalty area. Now Fernandes out to the left-hand side, and Dalot, faced up by his opposite number, Bogle, gives it back to Bruno Fernandes, who's in red-hot goal-scoring form. 5 in 4 matches in all competitions for Bruno Fernandes. Wan-Bissaka tucks it out to this right-hand side, and Anthony getting a rare start tonight. Still hasn't scored a Premier League goal this season, Anthony. Casemiro once again at centre-half tonight, just over the halfway line, plays it into Mainu, who gives it back to the Brazilian. Square pass for Maguire, faced up quickly by Archer, so he clips it to Christian Eriksen on this near touchline, bang on the halfway line, and he looks for Wan-Bissaka just in front of him. has to give it back to Ericsson because he was under pressure from Osborne. Then a first-time ball over the top from Casemiro does find Fernandes, who releases Anthony, right-hand corner of the penalty area. Fernandes on the overlap, tries to play it along the deck looking for Højlund, and Sheffield United get it awkwardly clear, but not that far clear. Wan-Bissaka then looks for Fernandes down the right-hand side of the box. It was telegraphed, and Austin Trusty puts in a lovely bit of skill to wrong foot a couple of Manchester United players, and Brereton Diaz tries to work it in field from the halfway line, but Manchester United have it back. 0-0, 5 gone on TalkSport 2.
I think both sides are trying to get the ball on the floor, and they're playing some really nice football, getting into some good areas. I like the movement from Bruno Fernandes. Anthony started the game really lively, although he's just had a little bit of a whack here. But just talked about Sheffield United's system there, Dance. Cup final at the Sunday. Diego Dalot right back, Aaron Wan-Bissaka left back. Tonight they've switched the fullbacks around. As a fullback, and I was a fullback, if somebody said that to me as a manager, you're getting used to playing in a position. Wan-Bissaka did okay, first hour did okay, and Diego Dalot, I said before, I think he's been Manchester United's best player this season.
How many times did you play right back?
Not many, none. Maybe once or twice, I think, because there was so many injuries, but I don't understand it.
Here's Wan-Bissaka at right back, giving chase down the inside right channel, but Trusty is there once more for Sheffield United. The American clears downfield. Anthony did control it, but he was soon seized upon by Ben Brereton Diaz. Brooks knocks it back to Osborne. It's all very tight to this near touchline for Sheffield United, and then Trusty looks for Arblaster, just 20 years of age and captaining Sheffield United tonight. Looked for Bogle, but the pass was floated too far in front of Jayden Bogle, and Manchester United have a throw. Strong challenge from Harmer against Garnacho on the far side of the field, and Manchester United have a free kick just over the halfway line. 6.5 gone. You're listening to TalkSport 2. 0-0 everywhere tonight in the Premier League and indeed in the EFL, where Coventry are playing Hull. Solihull Moors lead FC Halifax Town 3-1 going into the second half of that National League playoff quarter-final. Harry Maguire finds Garnacho left hand side, midway point of the Sheffield United half, attacking the south stand in this first half. United in their red, white and black. Maguire once again thought about sending a diagonal ball from left to right to the edge of the area, but lays it back to the halfway line instead for Casemiro. Now Wan-Bissaka, who's got Ben Brereton Diaz closing him down, so patient from Manchester United at this point. Maguire again plays a short pass to Bruno Fernandes and gets it back. Well, it's gone quiet at Old Trafford. You can hear around us there's no real intensity to the Manchester United support at this point. They've not got much to feed off, in fairness, apart from that very early chance that Dalot forced Foderingham to save, as Sheffield United come forward with Brereton Diaz looking for Archer just ahead of the centre circle, plays it to the right hand side. Jayden Bogle plays it down the right hand side of the box looking for Archer to continue his run, but Bogle's pass was too far ahead of the former Villa man, and Manchester United have a goal kick at the Stretford end. 8 gone, 0-0.
Well, Sheffield United on 3 occasions, I think, so far in the game, Dance, what I've counted is that final pass. Brooks on one occasion, this time down that right hand side, just putting too much pace on the passing behind Manchester United, because it worked it really well. Casemiro got dragged out of that back four, left a little space in behind. There's opportunities for Sheffield United if they get that final ball right, because Manchester United trying to get on the front foot themselves, we know they're vulnerable at the back. They do concede goals.
That's the voice of Mickey Gray, former England and Sunderland left back, remember, never a right back, on TalkSport 2. Throw into Sheffield United, launched in field by Jayden Bogle. Trusty gets a foot in, but it's ricocheted back into the path of Anthony, who set Bruno Fernandes away, squares it to Højlund at the edge of the area. In came Garnacho, brilliant block by Ahmed Hodzic, and the offside flag has gone up anyway, but Ahmed Hodzic wasn't to know that, as a ricochet saw the ball break for Anthony. He released Bruno Fernandes through the middle, wasn't quite quick enough and knew it. He was offside as he received the pass from Anthony, and that's why the move broke down. It's a free kick to Sheffield United, 0-0.
Well, there's been a lot of talk that Bruno Fernandes has not been providing the service for Rasmus Højlund, but he certainly tried to find him in this instant. But Kobbie Mainoo, how clever and quick his brain worked to play that ball, win the ball first and foremost, to play it into Anthony. Just needed play, and that split second quicker, because you know that Fernandes will always try and get in between the centre halves. Clever play. I think as it was building up, Dan, from where we were sat, he did actually look in an offside position.
0-0 then, as we approach the 10-minute mark at Old Trafford. Mainu, what a breakthrough season he's had for Manchester United. Lovely ball from Fernandes to release Wan-Bissaka over the halfway line, scampering downfield for Manchester United. Gets it back after playing a 1-2 with Anthony, down the right-hand side of the penalty area, just down to our right. Anthony will receive it now on the touchline and roll it back 10-15 yards to Casemiro. Eriksen in space in the centre of the Sheffield United half of the field. Rolls it into the feet of Fernandes, gives it to Casemiro. Now Wan-Bissaka and Anthony combine once again. It's back with Eriksen again, and he floats the ball all the way out to the left-hand side to find Garnacho. The Argentine can have a run at Jadon Bogle here. Actually cuts in field, 25 yards out, almost shaped to shoot, but finds Anthony. Slides in Wan-Bissaka. The cross is blocked at source by Andre Brooks, and Brooks will clear downfield. Casemiro gets a boot in ahead of Cameron Archer, and Manchester United have it back again. Anthony on this near touchline finds Wan-Bissaka. Eriksen in field, 30 yards out, rolls it to his left. It's picked up by Dalot, who tried a shot early doors. It's given to Garnacho. Dalot now down the left-hand side of the box, plays it in front of goal, and it's put behind by Arblaster for Manchester United's second corner of the game. 11 gone, 0-0.
Well, you talked about those two fullbacks from Manchester United switching sides. I think it's working really well. Wan-Bissaka on a couple of occasions, lovely little give and go with Anthony down this right-hand side. Eventually goes over to the left-hand side, and it's Dalot with the overlapping run from Garnacho. Does the right thing. He controls himself, tries to pull it back towards the edge of the 6-yard box, but cannot find a spare Manchester United player.
So a corner kick where the Alex Ferguson stand meets the south stand on the far side of the field from us. It will be a right-footed in-swinger from Bruno Fernandes, and the two number 5s are being spoken to, Trusty and Maguire. Make sure they're not grappling too much in the penalty area. In it comes from Fernandes, headed over the top of the near post. Was that Casemiro flying in? It was on his knees when he actually got the header in, but it came off the top of his head almost and over the bar for a Sheffield United goal kick. 0-0.
Well, I love defenders, or in this case midfielders, coming up into the 18-yard box for corners and not just making the numbers up. Saw a great goal from Harry Maguire at the weekend, and Casemiro very willing and brave to try and get on the end. It was a tight angle. You could see him banging the ground, but good opportunity.
Maguire hits a hopeful ball downfield that almost ran through for Bruno Fernandes, but Trusty watched it. You're listening to Manchester United 0, Sheffield United 0 on TalkSport 2 with Now. Don't forget that with Now you can stream all of the Sky Sports action like Everton versus Liverpool live right now, contract free with a Now Sports membership. Search Now Sports. No goals anywhere in the Premier League so far tonight, including here at Old Trafford, live on TalkSport 2 with 12, nearly 13 minutes gone here at Old Trafford. No goals in the Championship either in that important game between two playoff chasing sides, Coventry City and Hull City. 25 minutes gone there, and Solihull Moors 3-1 up on FC Halifax Town in the National League playoff quarter-final. Mainu for Manchester United, just shy of the halfway line to the left of centre. It's worked back to Harry Maguire, who will shovel the ball out to this near side, the Manchester United right, and Wan-Bissaka further out to the near touchline and Anthony, but under pressure from Ben Osborne. Great utility player for Sheffield United, slotting in once again at left back with absentees forcing the former Nottingham Forest man to fit in there, but he can play in a number of different positions. One back by Harmer, and he slides through Cameron Archer, who can run at the Manchester United backline. Archer gets to the edge of the D, takes a left-footed shot but scuffs it wide. Didn't get hold of it at all well, Cameron Archer, but that is a warning to the Manchester United backline. If they give up possession inside their own half, Sheffield United have got the pace to worry them. 0-0.
Sloppy from Garnacho. A couple of occasions over the last few weeks we've seen him do that on occasion. Can't give that ball away in that midfield area, then just stands, doesn't react to try and win the ball back.
That's a good ball from Osborne and laid off by Archer to Harmer. Now Brereton Diaz in the box, tries to get a shot away, and he got it through the legs of the defender, but it was straight at Onana, who held on to it comfortably in front of his goal line. But just in the last 30 seconds, a couple of indicators that It is not going to be one-way traffic here at Old Trafford tonight.
Absolutely not, Dan. Sheffield United look a real danger when they get that ball into the final third. They've just got to try and get that final bit of quality, the final pass, the final dribble. This occasion, Brereton Diaz. So when I see Manchester United, where's that game management? They're controlling the ball, a lot of pressure on Sheffield United. They're going to have to be patient tonight to break them down, but don't give the ball away sloppily like Garnacho. He started the game really poorly, I have to say, Garnacho. He needs to get involved in the game more.
Penny for Jason Wilcox's thoughts right now, wherever he is. Looking around the director's box, I think he's somewhere down there. Certainly Luke Shaw's sat not too far from us, one of the injured Manchester United players. Johnny Evans to our left too in the players area of the director's box. Manchester United coming forward down the left hand side with Rasmus Højlund. He finds Garnacho, who's trying to tease his way past Jayden Bogle. Bogle slides in, gets a foot in and puts it behind for a Manchester United corner at the south stand end, and Garnacho has stayed down. Bogle won the ball, but Garnacho says, well, you caught the man as well, and he's just slowly getting back to his feet. 0-0.
Well, I mean, it's good defending, isn't it? Jayden Bogle, 1v1, just waits for his opportunity, times his tackle perfectly. I just think when Garnacho fell to ground there, he landed on Bogle's foot. There's no malice in it whatsoever, but he's back on his feet now.
So Bruno Fernandes once again to take the corner for Manchester United at that corner of the Alex Ferguson in south stands. Right-footed in swinger into the near post. Garnacho again the target. Couldn't get the purchase on the header, and Brereton Diaz just hoofs it downfield, and Onana claims it at the edge of the centre circle. I mean, there's sweeper keeper and then there's that. Downfield it goes from Onana. It drops for Diogo Dalot. Casemiro is back in his defensive position. Bruno Fernandes has gone down holding the side of his face. Garnacho went for goal from the left-hand corner of the box, but it was a very comfortable save for the returning West Foderingham. Ball breaks for Sheffield United after a ricochet almost went Manchester United's way. Ball's back with Anel Ahmedhodzic for the Blades. Just to his right is Bogle. Now Oliver Arblaster from the Sheffield United youth players. Came to the club from Bradford Park Avenue, as did Andre Brooks actually a couple of years ago. And he's made huge strides, Ollie Arblaster, and will surely be, if he's retained by Sheffield United, a pivotal part of next season for the South Yorkshire club. Mainu, who similarly has had a terrific year, so many more people talking about him. With the Euro squads being extended to 26, you do wonder, Mickey Gray, whether Kobbie Mainu is almost certain therefore to be in Gareth Southgate's.
Well, I think even if it's 23, Dan, I think he's got himself onto the plane because of his two performances at the last international. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. He's certainly a player that you need in the squad, and you're right, the breakthrough season for him, it's like he's been there for a decade. He's been absolutely outstanding.
Casemiro for Manchester United at 0-0 finds Mainu just over the halfway line, flicks it quickly out to Garnacho, who's having another run down that far left-hand side of the field against Bogle, gets to the left-hand corner of the area, lays it back onto square to Bruno Fernandes, and he tucks it infield to the centre of the Sheffield United half, and Eriksson. Quick pass out to the left via Dalot, once again to Garnacho. He plays it back down the line 10 yards or so for Diogo Dalot. Infield to Rasmus Højlund, who's come a bit deeper to pick up possession. Finds Bruno Fernandes out to the left-hand side. Garnacho into the area, teases his way past Bogle, but gets the final touch when he wanted a corner. It ends up being a Sheffield United goal kick. 18 and a half minutes gone. On Talk Sport 2. Mickey Gray alongside me tonight. It's goalless.
Well, Sheffield United, I have to say, they're defending very well. They're defending deep. They're being very patient, letting Manchester United have the ball until they get into that final third, which I think is understandable. Just in front of us now, Dance, as well, we've got a picture of the new hierarchy at Manchester United. Jason Wilcox is at the game, and I'm sure he's an interested bystander of what style Manchester United are certainly playing tonight. They have got a lot of possession, but
he's just down there. You could throw a bread roll at him. Here's Brereton Diaz for Sheffield United, trying to slip in Harmer at the edge of the area, but great interception from Christian Eriksen to deny Sheffield United on the counter-attack, and then Mainu is clattered into by Arblaster, and referee Michael Salisbury has a wag of the finger at the young Sheffield United captain, but I think that's all it will be. Yeah, final warning, I think no more. says Michael Salisbury.
Well, I mean, he hasn't really blown his whistle too many times, Michael Salisbury, in this game. Let's be honest with you, it's been free-flowing, but just want a little bit of quality from both sides in that final third. But he's got the decision right there. I mean, he was just a little bit sharper, wasn't he, than our blaster. Well, I think he dealt with it well, which you want to see.
Goal in the Championship, and it's a big goal for Hull City, who lead at Coventry. Jayden Philogene. Here's Anthony for Manchester United, laying it back to Minor at the edge of the area. Couldn't get the shot away because of a brilliant challenge from our blaster. Manchester United still have it. Out to Garnacho, left-hand corner of the area. Faced up by Bogle. Lays it back for Ericsson. Thought about a shot for a moment. Plays a 1-2 with Bruno Fernandes. Out to the left-hand side and Dallo. Garnacho again receiving it with Bogle at his back. Gives it back down the left-hand side. Ericsson takes over. And then Garnacho feeds it back into midfield for Bruno Fernandes. Centre of the Sheffield United half. Good ball for Wan-Bissaka. Out to the right wing and Anthony, right-hand corner of the box. Back for Ericsson, who tries the first-time drive from 25 yards out. Always on its way over. A goal kick to Sheffield United. Yeah, I mentioned there that Jayden Philogene Pedersen put Hull City ahead at Coventry. That would put Hull City 3 points behind Norwich with 2 games to play in the Championship, and would effectively rule Coventry out, kind of. Well, they could still get involved, but it really would be a hammer blow to Coventry's hopes. They would still have 3 games to play and still have 9 points to play for. But that's a big goal for Hull City at the CBS Arena. Keep you in touch with that tonight. 21 minutes gone, 0-0 on TalkSport 2 at Old Trafford. Manchester United against Sheffield United, and it's the home side in possession once again with Ericsson, centre of the Sheffield United half. Dallo out to Garnacho, seeing a lot of the ball on that left-hand side. Plays it to the edge of the area. Anthony lays it off to Ericsson, left-hand corner of the box. Now it's taken over by Dallo. A bit more patient for Manchester United here. Poke back to Casemiro. Sheffield United got everybody bar Brereton Diaz behind the ball as it goes out to the left wing. Garnacho picks it up, looks to pick up the pace and play a 1-2. Great run! Garnacho will surely score! What a save! West Foderingham! He made all the space for himself with a terrific 1-2. Alejandro Garnacho got to about 10 yards out, let fly, but West Foderingham kept Sheffield United level with a top save.
Well, he's got to score, Alejandro Garnacho. It's brilliant. The move is fantastic. The patient, the lovely little give and go to get away from his marker. Well, you've got the whole goal to aim for. He scored goals this season, Dance. Maybe some of them there, he hasn't had to think about it. This time he did, but that should be 1-0 Manchester United. Massive chance in the game.
Midway point of the first half, it remains goalless though. Harry Maguire on one of those strong runs downfield in the inside left channel. Lays it off to Garnacho. Now Bruno Fernandes takes over in the centre of the Blades half. Plays it out to this near side where Anthony brings it under control. Faced up by Osborne, so he works it back to Wan-Bissaka. Bournemouth lead at Wolves in the 7:45 Premier League kickoff. Antoine Semenyo with the opener for Iraola's men against their old manager Gary O'Neill. That's kind of worked out well for everybody, that, hasn't it?
Yeah.
For Wolves, for Bournemouth, for O'Neill, Iraola. The only person it's not worked out for is Julian Lopetegui, who's been linked with a West Ham job in recent times. I think he's still living around Wolverhampton, Lopetegui.
Is that right?
Since he lost his job. He's stayed around the city, waiting for a Premier League opportunity, I believe, to come up.
There might be a few options in the summer, Dance, as well, with all the speculation that seems to be going round with certain clubs.
But Bournemouth lead at Molineux by a 0-0. Another goal in the Championship at the Coventry Building Society Arena, and it's gone to Coventry. They've equalised. Casey Palmer has made it 1-1. As quickly as they went behind, they've got themselves level, the Sky Blues. Here's Anthony for Manchester United at 0-0. Tries to thread it down the inside right channel for Mainu. Only half cleared by Sheffield United, so the hosts have it back. Here's Christian Eriksen by the centre circle. Archer jockeying him for position. Rolled into the feet of Rasmus Højlund, who again has come very deep to pick at the ball from Harry Maguire. He's not seen a lot of it tonight, Højlund, in these first half minutes. We played 24 minutes at Old Trafford. Live and exclusive on TalkSport 2. Ericsson whips a right-footed centre into the box. Mainu was furthest forward. Trusty, though, chested it down and hooked it clear, but only as far as Anthony. Manchester United pressurising once again. Wan-Bissaka approaching the right-hand corner of the box, slides it down the right for Bruno Fernandes, fires the crossing, palmed away by Fotheringham. Anthony gets to the rebound, but it drifts wide for a corner as it hit a Sheffield United boot on its way behind at the south stand end. 0-0, corner Manchester United, their fourth of the half.
It's so frustrating at times watching this Manchester United side, because when they do actually go through the gears, they look fantastic. The movement's great, they always seem to get on the end of it. A lot of touches in the 18-yard box. Anthony just couldn't work that one out of his feet quick enough, but the movement was absolutely fantastic.
Another Bruno Fernandes corner to come. This from the corner of the south stand and the Bobby Charlton stand that we're sat in, so next to the Sheffield United fans who've made the trip from Bramall Lane in that southeast corner. Whipped in near post, but cleared away by Brereton Diaz, only as far as Anthony. Gives it back out to Bruno Fernandes on this right wing. Slides it into Mainu at the edge of the area. Tries to chop the ball past his man. He almost got clear. He's found Rasmus Højlund. Back to goal at the edge of the area. Finds Anthony, and the shot goes wide, and that's a goal kick for Sheffield United. But bar a couple of rare forays forward, mostly in this first half, Mickey Gray and I have been looking to the half, away to our right, 0-0.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of possession, Dance, but I think that quality just got to be better. Anthony on a couple of occasions, it's fell to his favoured left foot, but also the corners have got to be better. Yeah. I mean, they're really poor from Bruno Fernandes. It drives me crazy when you don't beat the first man once, but he's done it on 2 occasions now.
You mentioned the percentage of possession. What I've got here, 83% possession for Manchester United.
It feels like that as well, doesn't it? But I think it's what you do with that possession, Dance, and Man United, they're not doing enough. Hopefully, within this game, Dance, we get to speak about Rasmus Højlund a lot, because I've got a beam up on it of why he doesn't score goals on a regular basis, and it's not basically down to him.
We've seen him come deep a couple of times in this opening half to receive possession. I remember a time when Wayne Rooney used to feel he had to do that in Manchester United red. Is Maguire.
Sorry, Dan. I thought we had an opportunity to do it now, but with these wide players, and not just the two that are playing out here now, Anthony and Garnacho, talking about Rashford as well, I just don't think the young lad's going to get the service to score 15-20 goals a season, which is why you see him coming deep and getting involved in the game so much. He's got to make something happen himself, and it feels like all his goals come from centrally.
So Højlund has come to pick the ball up and feeds it out to Garnacho just to his left, running up Bogle towards the left-hand corner of the box. Lays it off for Kobbie Mainu. Back for Dallo, who lifts it down the left-hand side of the box, looking for Garnacho, but that was well watched by Mason Holgate. And it's brought away by Sheffield United, and Harmer scurrying over halfway, tries to feed it through to Cameron Archer, who was ahead of the defender Maguire, but Andre Onana's starting position was great, and he came out and swept that up very, very comfortably indeed for Manchester United.
Well, you could say, Chris Wilder was just looking down, Dance, as well there. That ball was, the simple pass was out to the left-hand side to Brereton Diaz, just to keep hold of the ball and get you up the pitch, give yourself a bit of a breather.
Yeah, just overclubbed the pass, Gus Harmer. Ball up to the edge of the Sheffield United box, cleared away by Osborne. Casemiro hooks it out to the left-hand side, bounces away from Garnacho, and he was offside anyway, according to the assistant on this near side. You're listening to Manchester United 0, Sheffield United 0 on TalkSport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes, so if you've got a plan, they've got a van. Get a load of this in the Merseyside derby. Everton lead Liverpool by a 1-0. Jared Branthwaite, another player who may well be on the plane to Germany with Gareth Southgate's Euros squad. He has given the Toffees the lead against Liverpool at Anfield. That's live on TalkSport right now. Can imagine the noise at Goodison. Surprised we can't hear it from here.
That's very true.
And it is quiet here at Old Trafford tonight. There's not much for the Manchester United faithful to really get their teeth into, despite all this possession that we've mentioned the home side have had. 83% the last time I checked, but it remains 0-0. And Sheffield United have, as we've mentioned, had one or two little moments coming forward. And they have a throw just over halfway. Austin Trusty, their centre-half, standing right next to Erik ten Hag. launches it down the left-hand side, flicked infield by Brereton Diaz, half cleared by Maguire, just ricochets around the defensive third of Manchester United before it's hooked away by Casemiro. Garnacho almost treads on the ball, actually does allow Sheffield United to win it back. Good turn by Arblaster, moves into the centre of the half, finds Brereton Diaz trying to sort his feet out at the edge of the area, breaks for Harmer, right hand side, he fires over, the offside flag's gone up on the far side anyway, and I think that was against Ben Brereton Diaz, who just couldn't sort his feet out as the ball landed to him with his back to goal just inside the area. It's a free kick, half an hour gone on TalkSport 2, it's 0-0.
And how does the move start? Again, Manchester United giving the ball away sloppily. Casemiro playing a lofted pass across to Garnacho, two players around him. Blaster plays that ball through to Brereton Diaz. He's not to know he's offside. If his first touch is better, he's got a simple little pass in behind Onana into that Manchester United goal. And that's what I keep saying, they look a threat on the counter-attack because they've got the pace. They're leaving Hamer or Archer and Brereton Diaz up as high as they possibly can when they get into Manchester United's half, and it's causing the Reds problems.
Ericsson slides through Højlund and Manchester United suddenly away. Angles tight for Højlund, drives it at the legs of Foderingham, and it's cleared away and out for a throw to Manchester United. And Sheffield United players look to the assistant on this near side saying, wasn't Højlund offside? Well, it doesn't appear so. Certainly VAR didn't get involved there, and it's a throw instead to Manchester United 10 yards from the corner flag on the far left hand side, which they've thrown back more towards the halfway line to allow Garnacho to pick it up.
Well, if anybody's going to find Højlund in those positions, it's going to be Bruno Fernandes dancing. He makes a wonderful run, doesn't he, but it's a second touch. He needs that first touch out of his feet, a confident striker, then takes the shot on. He has that second initial touch, just puts him a little bit too wide and the angle's really tight. But I like the movement, I like the enthusiasm from Højlund. It's always been there.
That's Mickey Gray alongside me, Ian Danter here at Old Trafford. Currently Manchester United 0, Sheffield United 0. For the latest odds, head to William Hill, the official betting partner of TalkSport 2's Premier League coverage. Right now, you can get Manchester United to win at 7-2 on. Sheffield United to win, that's 17-2. The draw priced at 9-2. That's all thanks to William Hill. Get epic value all season with William Hill. 18 plus, and the website you need is begambleaware.org. We've got 32 minutes gone here at Old Trafford. And it's the Sheffield United fans you can hear away to our right in the southeast corner encouraging their team, because despite all the possession, there doesn't appear at the moment to be much for the Manchester United faithful to shout about.
No, absolutely not. They need to do more in possession, and you always find it difficult, Manchester United, when sides come to Old Trafford and they sit back. They're used to playing against sides and counter-attacking.
Bruno Fernandes suddenly finds himself onside, squares it back, might drop for Mainu! Oh, what a save again from Wes Foderingham! How did he keep that out? Plunging to his right-hand side, the offside flag spares Manchester United's pluses anyway, but again Wes Foderingham was not to know, and as Kobe Mainu suddenly had the ball at his feet, 12 yards out, swept it, goal was left-footed. Brilliantly kept out by Wes Foderingham. Stays 0-0. Brilliant save.
Well, as you say, Dance, Fodringham's not to know who's offside. He has to make the save, and talk about coming back into the starting 11 and hopefully proving a point to his manager. Two superb saves from him. Right place at the right time. He looks really sharp. He really does, and I think he's quite enjoying the performance that his back five are putting in front of him at the moment, because they said Man United are asking questions, not too many, but when they do ask them, he's come up trumps. Great save.
Yeah, he's come back in for Ivo Grbic, and it is half-time at Molineux. Wolves 0, Bournemouth 1. That's Semenyo goal, having Bournemouth ahead. Remember, Everton lead Liverpool by 1-0. Yes, Arsenal fans, that really is the scoreline at Goodison Park. Same for Manchester City fans. Manchester City go to Brighton tomorrow night. That's a TalkSport exclusive commentary. Hugh Woozencroft, Sam Matterface and Scott Minto will be at the Amex for you tomorrow night for that Premier League game. Oh, Onana gives it away down the right-hand side of the box. Jayden Bogle! Sheffield United lead! What a gift! What a total gift from Andre Onana, presenting it to Jayden Bogle, right-hand corner of the box. He ran in, slams it past the hapless Manchester United keeper, and after Foderingham at one end has been performing heroics, Onana with a howler to allow Bogle to put the Blades in front at Old Trafford. 10 to half-time, Manchester United 0, Sheffield United 1.
Well, if you keep making mistakes, eventually it's going to catch you up, and it's certainly done that on this occasion. Andre Onana, he's got so much time just to clear his lines, tries to be clever to play it out to his left-hand side, to Diogo Dalot, gets the pass completely wrong, and that's an absolutely outstanding finish. It really is. You know, you pick up the ball in the 18-yard box, you drive at the full-back, looks like he's going to pull it towards the 6-yard area. No, he beats Onana hands down at his near post, where he shouldn't really be getting beaten actually, but my goodness, all Sheffield United deserve. They look the bigger threat on the counter-attack, and so far they've got the just rewards.
Possession 9/10 of the law, but the other 10th has gone in Sheffield United's favour, and they lead at Old Trafford live on TalkSport 2. And now the Sheffield United fans are in full voice, and they can most definitely be heard above the eerie silence elsewhere around this famous old stadium. Less than 10 minutes to half-time. Jayden Bogle's third Premier League goal of the season, and he's celebrated wildly by sliding on his knees at the tunnel corner here at Old Trafford. And Manchester United once again find themselves behind at Old Trafford. How many times has that happened this season?
Too many, Dan.
Now Garnacho goes down for a free kick right at the edge of the area. Holgate took him down. A yellow card for Mason Holgate for that challenge from Michael Salisbury. Garnacho just looked up at the ref as if to say, was that a pen? No, it wasn't, but it's a free kick about a yard outside the penalty area, and it was a foul by Holgate. So it's almost like a short corner this for Manchester United on the left-hand side. A short corner in hockey, if you know how that works. Bruno Fernandes over it.
Fernandes is over there, and you just want that quality to be a little bit better than what his corners have been so far in the game. But what a shock to the system again, Dance. Talk about being in control of the game, with possession, etc. But you cannot keep making mistakes like that. It's happened too many times, and that's why they keep getting punished week in, week out, Man United.
So Fernandes, will he drill this ball in low and try and catch Sheffield United out of their near post? It's out on the left-hand side. Anthony's at the edge of the area, also Garnacho there too, unmarked. Fernandes does roll it back to Garnacho, tried to take the shot, he was blocked by Osborne, will get the shot away finally at the third time of asking, and then Fernandes has a wild swing at the left-hand corner of the box. That's like one of mine. Goal kick to Sheffield United, certainly not one of Mickey Gray's. That would have been on target a few days ago.
I'm not too sure about
your
that.
Right foot. 37 gone, 1-0 Sheffield United, Mickey.
I mean, another set piece that is really, really sloppy from a quality player, normally from set pieces, in Bruno Fernandes. You know, he's tried to pull the ball towards the edge of the 18-yard box. I think we could actually see that going to happen, Dan, before it did. Sheffield United's picked the ball up, opportunity goes, and when it does come back to Fernandes, normally very astute there, he's got the quality without a doubt, but just a poor finish.
Garnacho has it down the left-hand side of the Sheffield United box again, checks onto his right, plenty of options, works it back to Bruno Fernandes 30 yards out, goes for goal straight at Foderingham, who holds on to it. Hull City are back in front at Coventry in the Championship right on half-time. A penalty from Fabio Carvalho makes it Coventry 1, Hull 2, and it's now Solihull Moors 3, FC Halifax Town 2 in that National League playoff quarter-final at the Armco. Solihull were 3-0 up, but FC Halifax Town, who played so many games in recent days to catch up because of real pitch problems at the Shea, well, they're coming on strong towards the end of that game, but it's still Solihull in front. Remember, Gateshead not allowed to participate in those playoffs because of the fact that their ground didn't come up to EFL standards, and they were therefore barred from taking part. Now Casemiro is limping here at Old Trafford with Manchester United a goal down. We'll keep an eye on that, Mickey Gray, because it's not like centre-halves are exactly plentiful in supply for Eric Ten Hag right now. And he's playing as an auxiliary one already.
Dropping like flies, Dan, aren't they?
Played back by Arblaster, and he wins a throw actually because Dalot couldn't keep it in play on the far side of the field. So elsewhere tonight, Bournemouth 1-0 up at half-time at Wolves. 0-0 Palace Newcastle. Everton live on TalkSport 1-0 up against Liverpool in the Merseyside derby. And here on TalkSport 2 at Old Trafford, it is Manchester United 0, Sheffield United 1. Eric Ten Hag, hands in pockets at the edge of his technical area, looks on fairly dispassionately. Chris Wilder, meantime, just to his right, is exhorting his players to keep the effort up. He will be desperate for his players to get in 5 or so minutes' time with a scoreline like this at the break. Here's Christian Eriksen, meantime, for Manchester United. And again, you think it was a home game at Bramall Lane, so it's all you can hear is Sheffield United fans.
It's as if these Man United supporters are still shattered from the weekend dance.
Wan-Bissaka plays the ball into the feet of Kobbie Mainoo, right-hand corner of the box, lays it back to Anthony. Now Fernandes takes over, finds Mainoo again, nutmegs Trusty, who obstructs him. That's a free kick to Manchester United. Chris Wilder says there's nothing wrong with that challenge, but Trusty did move across to his right to block Mainoo from running round him. That's a free kick as far as Michael Salisbury is concerned, and it's almost at the right-hand corner of the Sheffield United penalty area. 1-0 to the Blades.
I think that's a yellow card as well, Dance. I really do. I'm not too sure about Chris Wilder's reaction there, but Trusty knew exactly what he was doing. Brilliant play from Kobbie Mainoo. First touch was fantastic. Little nutmegs, tried to run round the other side. Trusty just got his body in the way and stopped the whole move.
Now this would favour a left-footed strike on goal. Bruno Fernandes with his right foot is standing over this, and West Fotheringham's just organised a three-man wall to protect his near post on this near side. Fernandes addresses the ball, clips it to the far post, flicks away to the far side. Garnacho will keep it in play by the corner flag, puts it back into the near post, flicked on by Maguire! Harry Maguire against his old club equalises for Manchester United with a deft flick header at the near post as Garnacho kept the ball in play from Fernandes' free kick, scores against his old club. Vague celebration of sorts, but it's relief around Old Trafford because Manchester United have got themselves level before half-time. It's 1-1.
I have to say, he scored a wonderful header at the weekend, Harry Maguire, and this one's just as good, completely different. I have to say, when that ball gets whipped into the near post from Garnacho, it's got pace. All Harry Maguire's got to do is get in front of his marker, which he does brilliantly. Little glance towards the far stick. I just wonder whether Fotheringham thinks that ball's going to go wide, but I don't know, is this gone to VAR, Dan?
VAR are checking the goal, although because we've got small screens here, they're checking for possible offside against Maguire at the near post as Garnacho fed the ball back into the area with a right-footed in-swinging cross. So Maguire, that's a tight call because you've got Trusty out there, who's the furthest defender back for Sheffield United, marshalling Garnacho as the ball comes in. So they've got their protractors out and their gauges, and the goal is good. And West Fotheringham is told by Michael Salisbury, we'll have the ball back on the halfway line, please. And it is 1-1.
Well, you can understand why it went to VAR there, Dan. It was an interesting one from the pictures that we have in front of us, but from where Garnacho was and the defender, it just looked as if Harry Maguire was onside. And I think he's got his just rewards. I think he's played really well, Maguire, over the last month and a half or so. Started to score goals, now getting into the opposition's half, and well, it hasn't been pretty for Man United, I have to say, in this first 45 minutes, but you want somebody who's brave getting the end of that cross, and you would want it to fall to Harry Maguire. Oh, it's a fantastic header, great ball into the box as well.
So Sheffield United couldn't maintain that one-goal lead to the break, and they've now conceded 89 goals in the Premier League, equaling Derby's unwanted record for a 38-game Premier League season.
Well, I think it says it all, doesn't it? They've just not been good enough, Sheffield United, defensively or offensively. They've not scored enough goals, Dance, to win the amount of football matches that you need to stay in the Premier League, but conceding 89 goals, it's just too many. And as I said, Chris Wilder's hands have pretty much been tied because lost the two best players in the summer, let's not forget, one of those being an attacking player as well. But it's so hard coming halfway through the season.
Now a long ball downfield for Manchester United. Touched on to Garnacho. Another incredible save by Wes Foderingham. Garnacho was right in front of goal. Foderingham flew himself to his right and made the save. And then Brooks steps in to stop Casemiro getting downfield. Wes Foderingham is having an incredible game tonight for Sheffield United. Not much you can do about Maguire's equaliser, but my word, he's been athletic on his return between the sticks for Chris Wilder's men tonight. Stays 1-1.
Well, when you talk about Manchester United, they've had the chance to score 3 or 4 goals tonight. I would have said, Dance, any other side, they'd have been out of sight and this game would have been done and dusted, but from what we saw at the weekend, you can't say that. But Garnacho, 2 huge opportunities. Look, whether he's offside or not, he has to score in those situations.
We're moving into 3 minutes of minimum stoppage time at the end of this first half on TalkSport 2. Manchester United 1, Sheffield United 1. Sheffield United led 7 minutes. And the possession stats I can still see are 83-17 in Manchester United's favour. Here is Diogo Dalot squirting the ball out to the left-hand side for Alejandro Garnacho. Dallow's gone ahead of him down the left-hand side of the box, tries to clip the cross in. Holgate and Bogle were there. Bogle got it half clear, but it's back with Dalot once again. Calmly rolls it back to Eriksson. Eriksson whips it in right-footed. It's over the angle of post and bar, and will end up being a goal kick to Sheffield United in added time. 1-1.
Yeah, again, Christian Eriksen. I don't know if this is a cross or a shot. He does have a little look up to see where Rasmus Højlund is, but you can see by the amount of pace and power he tries to get onto that ball, it's kind of thinking to himself in his head.
We'll call it a crot. That's between a cross and a shot, isn't it?
Very clever, Dance.
Yeah, I've just invented that. I bet I'm not the first one to have said that. Anyway,
you see the cross, don't you? As he's lining up, you're thinking like, okay, well, what I'll do, I'll whip this as hard as I can towards the far stick. If it creeps in at the near post, then I'll call it a great goal. If it doesn't, it ends up being a poor cross, which on this occasion it was the latter.
Headed down by Cameron Archer, hooked over the halfway line by Bruno Fernandes, asking Højlund to give chase, but Holgate is there first for Sheffield United, back for Foderingham, clears first time downfield. Maguire beats Cameron Archer in the air, who's hurt himself, Archer, in that challenge, and away come Manchester United on the counter. It's Fernandes sweeping the ball in. Højlund at the near post, can't get the shot away, and the Sheffield United fans are saying to Michael Salisbury, why didn't you stop the game, because Cameron Archer is holding his head. That's meant to be the protocol. Archer is back on his feet. A few Sheffield United players are being told, including the captain, watch what you say to me by the referee, otherwise I'm going to be booking 1 or 2 of you. 1-1.
Yeah, well, it was the big man, little man challenge, wasn't it? But brilliant from Man United on the counter-attack, and that's what I love about Højlund. He just wants that service.
Corner to Manchester United, whipped in by Bruno Fernandes, headed back to him by Ben Brereton Diaz, and he just catches the ball casually as it drifted behind for another corner where the Sir Alex Ferguson stand meets the South stand. Make that something like 6 corners, maybe even 7 that Manchester United have had this half. And it comes again, headed behind by Bogle this time, but there won't be time for another corner because the half-time whistle has gone. Players are back on the field here at Old Trafford, and Sheffield United are making a change, Mickey Gray, at the start of the second half. And Vinicius de Souza, who didn't play that well when I watched him on Saturday against Burnley when they lost 4-1, he's on in place of Andre Brooks. I think adding a bit more tenacity to the midfield, Mickey. I guess that's the plan.
Yes, I think you've got to try and be a bit more physical in that midfield area. Eriksson and Fernandes and Mainu have got on the ball a little bit too much for Chris Wilder's liking, and if you can try and stop that, it just gives Sheffield United a better opportunity. I mean, a chance for De Souza, didn't play well last game out. Just go out and prove to your manager why you want to be back in that starting 11.
So that's the change that's been made. Otherwise it's as you were for both sides. So for Manchester United, wearing the red shirts, white shorts, black socks, they're attacking the Stretford end as they love to do away to our left in the second half. Onana in goal, who also just nearly gave the ball away again with a pass out of his own penalty area, as he did for Sheffield United's goal. Pulls out of play, Anthony couldn't keep it in. So in front of Onana, a back four of Dalot, Casemiro, Maguire and Wan-Bissaka. Eriksson and Mainu holding. Anthony, Bruno Fernandes and Garnacho in behind Højlund. So now for Sheffield United, it's Foderingham, Holgate, Ahmed Hodzic and Trusty as a 3, Bogle and Osborne as wing backs. It's now Vinicius de Souza, Arblaster and Harmer, and Archer and Brereton Diaz, the front 2 for the Blades. Mainu just drops his shoulder neatly and gets away from 2 on the far side for United. Works in field by Højlund for Fernandes. Now Garnacho picks it up, left hand side of the box, makes room for a shot, but it deflects off the bottom of Jaden Bogle's boot and makes it a comfortable save, far more comfortable save for Foderingham than the brilliant ones he had to make in the first half. And he's cleared downfield, and Brereton Diaz has picked it up down the left wing for the visitors. Has to go back to the halfway line, and de Souza, who gets his first touch, out to the right hand side, and Bogle back in field. It goes to Harmer, and Harmer sends it back via Vinicius de Souza to halfway, and Austin Trusty.
Well, that early move from Manchester United, Dance, in this second half deserved a better finish. Great play from Anthony and Højlund, but Garnacho, he's just not got his shooting boots on tonight, has he? 3 big opportunities. I think he had to do better in that occasion, and just giving the ball away as I'm speaking again.
And Bogle is once again striding forward for Sheffield United. Works out to the left hand side, and Ben Osborne can put the ball into the box, headed out by Casemiro, and he found a teammate in Anthony with the headed clearance. Højlund intelligently knocks it back in field for Bruno Fernandes, and then Fernandes just holds it up for a moment, allows Dalot to stride forward inside his own half. Under pressure from Harmer though, he has to go back to the man that scored the equaliser, Harry Maguire. 1-1 with a couple of minutes gone in the second half.
Bruno Fernandes just having a look at Garnacho and saying, I needed a little bit more movement from you as they were playing out from the back, and a little bit of more urgency. You had to then wait for Diego Dalot to get anywhere near the halfway line, but ended up coming to nothing. They're coming back too many times instead of going forward.
Here's Garnacho again, left-hand corner of the penalty area, can't get past Bogle, but it falls back into the path of Bruno Fernandes, whose cross is a comfortable catch at the far post for Wes Foderingham. 3 minutes gone in the second half. Sheffield United's last 16 games away, 1 win, 3 draws. They're drawing at the moment, 12 defeats. Their sole victory came in February at Kenilworth Road, a 3-1 win at Luton Town. They are the lowest goal scorers away from home, with 14 now, with the one they've scored tonight through Jaden Bogle. They have only conceded 37 away. It's really at home where they've conceded big. So Newcastle and Arsenal in particular, 8 against Newcastle, 6 against Arsenal, you might remember.
Which is a big surprise, because if you remember the last time Sheffield United were in the Premier League when Chris Wilder was in charge, when we had fans, they were absolutely fantastic at home. They were very hard to beat.
Here are the Blades again with Gus Harmer, twisting and turning at the edge of the area, slides it down the left-hand side of the box for Osborne. Brereton Diaz stabs it home, and the Blades are back in front. Harmer slid it down the left-hand side of the area, pulled back into the box for Ben Brereton Diaz. An unerring shot from 8 yards out. Anana with no chance of picking that one out. And Sheffield United have stunned Old Trafford for a second time. 4 minutes into the second half, it is Manchester United 1, Sheffield United 2.
Well, sometimes when you see things happening in front of your eyes, you can't believe it. Well, they're going through the motions here defensively, Manchester United. They think they can just ease their way to winning this game. Well, they've just had another huge shock, because Sheffield United have come out brightly in the second half. Great little turn from Hamer. The ball in from Osborne down that left-hand side, and Brereton Diaz has got a great record since he started wearing a Sheffield United shirt. He gets away from his marker, looks for that half a yard, pokes his right foot out, gives Anana absolutely no chance. Shell-shocked in this stadium, and Sheffield United deservedly have gone in front.
And it's Ben Brereton Diaz's 5th Premier League goal since coming to Sheffield United on loan from Villarreal. And again, Old Trafford has to contemplate watching their team falling behind at home twice in the same game. And I've been here a couple of times doing match commentaries, Mickey Gray, for TalkSport 2. I can think of games against Brighton, and Brentford in particular, Nottingham Forest. Good. It's more than a handful, isn't it, of games where this sort of scenario is played out.
Dante, I just see a group of players that at times in the game, and it's not for the full 90 minutes, going through motions. There's no organisation, there's no communication between players. There's a few experienced guys out there tonight, but this is not Manchester United. It really isn't. Look, I'm not taking anything away from Sheffield United, but have they had to work hard for the 2 goals that they've got tonight? Absolutely not.
For you to use the phrase going through the motions, and I completely understand you using that, Mickey, that is a damning indictment on players who are playing for one of the biggest football clubs in world football.
Yeah, absolutely.
2-1 to Sheffield United, and Archer has got the better of Ericsson down the left-hand side of the box. It's cleared away by Casemiro, who turns around and looks at his teammates and says, what on earth are you lot playing at? Throw to Sheffield United down by the corner flag, left-hand side. The Blades lead 2-1 on TalkSport 2.
Dance, there's an acceptance between these players of going through their motions, where if they're not quite at it, who's out there, who's kicking somebody up the backside and saying, look, you need to do more, do your job. And this in front of us now says it all. You have a manager sat down in his seat in the technical area, instead of being in the technical area, passing on information to his players and saying, look, I'm not happy with this, get yourselves in gear. It's just, there's an acceptancy there, and it's really, really poor.
Well, he almost looked sheepish in the close-up image I've just seen on my monitor here in front of me, of him sat in the dugout, the Manchester United manager. Chris Wilder, arms folded. Alan Neil, his trusty assistant, just behind him, but he's not showing it, but he must be secretly thrilled that they've taken the lead twice. Ten Hag now back out at the edge of his technical area. Incidentally, Coventry have equalised against Hull. That's now 2-2 at the CBS Arena. Bobby Thomas, just prior to the hour mark, brings Coventry level. And Wolves have equalised against Bournemouth. It's gone to VAR though. Hwang Hee-chan thinks he's equalised for Wolves. Goals as they're ruled out on TalkSport 2. Never mind goals as they go in. Goals as they're chalked off. We'll find out. It has been ruled out, so it is goals as they're chalked off.
Well, we're getting used to that, aren't we?
Here we are. So Bournemouth still in front at Molineux. And Sheffield United, unbelievably you might say, still in front here at Old Trafford. And it's unbelievable in one sense, but most definitely not in another. I mean,
Dance, you're in front of me, you're sat next to me now. Erik ten Hag has just came down into the technical area
and done nothing.
Exactly. No, there's no communication. He's not trying to have a word with any of his players to get a message across to them.
Well, sometimes a lot is made of managers do too much, or managers aren't really being listened to by players.
Do something though.
Yeah.
Do something. Don't just stand there.
There's changes afoot though. Steve McLaren's talking to a couple of Manchester United substitutes down beneath us. Can't quite see who it is who's coming on, but there will be substitutions imminently for the hosts, who trail by 2-1. And a guy who was on loan at your old gaff Sunderland last season, Amad Diallo, is going to be the first player from the sub-shack, as they say, Mickey. Well, you saw a lot of him for the Black Cats last season.
I did, Dance, yeah. Very talented. He had to bide his time to get his opportunities at Manchester United because of a long injury at the beginning of the season. Thought he did absolutely fantastic when he came on at the weekend for United in the semi-final. And he's going to be given an opportunity tonight as well. And, well, listen to that.
Anthony is getting booed as he comes off. That's Manchester United fans booing him. That's not Sheffield United fans, I don't think. I can hear a few Manchester United boos in there. Don't know what you think, Mickey. But anyway, it's all semantics. He's off, and Amad Diallo is on, whilst the Sheffield United player gets treatment on the far side of the pitch. 2-1 to Sheffield United as Crystal Palace take the lead against Newcastle. Jean-Philippe Mateta has put Palace in front after they mauled West Ham at the weekend. So both sides, who are aiming for a European qualification spot, are trailing tonight. Newcastle at Palace and Manchester United here against bottom club Sheffield United. As Ben Brereton Diaz tries to weave into the area from the left-hand side, goes to ground. Maguire gets it up to Bruno Fernandes just outside the penalty area. Sheffield United fans are way to our right-hand side thinking there was some infringement in there that should have worked in their favour. Nothing doing. And Man United hit it long downfield. Oh, Diallo! Diego Dallo's in behind to take the shot away. He can't get the shot away because Trusty got his foot in, and then West Foderingham could smother the ball. Just all of a sudden, Diego Dallo was all alone in front of the Sheffield United back line after a mistake by Mason Holgate, but he couldn't profit from it. Dawdled, and that allowed Trusty to get back at him. 2-1 Sheffield United.
I've said it already in commentary, Dan. Sometimes you can't believe your eyes, can you? And he's done all the hard stuff. Diego Dalot, fantastic run, but when he gets through, is that a full-back's finish? 3 or 4 touches when he did not need them. He just had to get his head up, slot it down the side of Foderingham. Either side, he had the full goal to aim for. Listen to the reaction. I mean, you heard the reaction when Anthony went off the pitch. I think we got similar when Dalot missed that opportunity. I've not criticised him too many times this season. I think he's been fantastic for United, but oh my goodness, he has to score.
This is a club surrounded by history, and there's great players from Manchester United's past sat just to our left. Brian Robson, Paddy Crerand, Gary Pallister, to name but 3 who were sat there, and there's a few heads shaking at what they're watching, and Eric Ten Hag's head is shaking as Amad Diallo can't collect a crossfield pass that was aimed to him on the Manchester United right. So Sheffield United have a throw-in, 57 minutes gone, still choir practice going on in the southeast corner for the Sheffield United fans. And even the most optimistic blade heading across the Pennines this afternoon would not necessarily be expected not just to be leading, but to have scored twice, Mickey, because goals have been in very short supply, as we mentioned, for the Blades this season.
It just shows you how easily Manchester United are to play against. You see the chances that they've conceded over the last 5 games, Dan. Over 20 opportunities for either side that have played against. It's not happened for years, I think, since the start of the Opta stats. And you can see why tonight, how easy it is for Sheffield United to get in behind. I said before, they haven't worked hard for them 2 goals they've got tonight. The first one's a silly mistake from Onana. The second one, a simple cross down the left-hand side. Simple little finish for Brereton Diaz. But then on the other hand, you don't understand what you're watching at times from a mighty club like Manchester United. It's shocking.
They're in possession, Manchester United. 2-1 down as we approach the hour mark on TalkSport 2. Here's Alejandro Garnacho on this near side of the left as Manchester United continue to attack the Stretford end. Fernandes swings the ball out to Amad Diallo, brings it down brilliantly at the dead ball line, just inside the box, right-hand side, skips away from Brereton Diaz, lays it back to Bruno Fernandes, and the shot deflects behind for yet another Manchester United corner. Their first of the second half, though, at the Stretford end. 2-1 to the Blades.
Yeah, well, nice to see Diallo getting the opportunity, get himself on the ball as quick as he can, showing some great feet.
Here comes the corner from Fernandes into the near post, drops on the 6-yard line, spot into the back of the net, but the referee has already given a penalty to Manchester United. They say, well, let us play on and score the goal, but a penalty's been awarded by Michael Salisbury, and now he's got both sets of players around him complaining.
Yeah, well, he's got to try and sort this out, Michael Salisbury, as quick as he possibly can. As that ball came in from the corner, you could see it was Trusty who was marking Harry Maguire. He's dragged him to the ground, and whether he's blown the whistle before the ball has actually gone into the back of the net is why everybody's surrounding the referee. Well, it's Dallo, a nice little flick actually into the back of the net, and they want the goal, of course they do. But I think it is going to get pulled back, dance for a penalty.
The whistle probably went just prior to the ball hitting the back of the net. That's what Michael Salisbury is probably telling the players out there. And so Manchester United do have a potential lifeline here as we hit the hour mark on TalkSport 2. Trusty the offender on Harry Maguire, and it will be surely Bruno Fernandes once again with the penalty. 5 goals in 4 games in all competitions for the Portuguese, and he is very carefully placing the ball on the spot at the Stretford end. Takes 5, 6, 7 paces back to the 18-yard line. Very straight run-up for Bruno Fernandes. Foderingham waits on his goal line. Now here comes Fernandes, right-footed, blast it into the back of the net. Emphatic automatic penalty, grabs the ball as it rebounds out the back of the net, and Manchester United players charge back to the halfway line. Bruno Fernandes to the rescue. It's Manchester United 2, Sheffield United 2.
Very confident penalty. Put one away at the weekend. Never really thought about missing this, did you, as he stepped up? Bruno Fernandes, very confident from the penalty spot. A lot of pace. Sending Foderingham the opposite direction. Absolutely superb. Well, we've got a game in our hands. I'm not saying it's pretty, but we've certainly got a game in our hands.
Change for Sheffield United before the restart here at Old Trafford, and Cameron Archer is being replaced by a man on loan from the club just down the road. James McAtee from Manchester City on loan at Sheffield United is brought on by Chris Wilder. You're listening to Manchester United 2, Sheffield United 2 on TalkSport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps 120,000 people every day. Scott McTominay is being readied down beneath us as well. Was dropped to the bench tonight. Was a slight injury doubt, but the man who scored in the FA Cup semi-final will be on shortly as Everton go 2-0 up on Liverpool in the Merseyside derby. Dominic Calvert-Lewin with a huge blow for Jurgen Klopp's men as they try and close that 3-point gap to Arsenal at the top. Wow, what a scoreline. That's live on TalkSport right now, if you want to tune into that, with Sam Matterface and Stuart Pearce. Everton 2, Liverpool 0. Don't forget, Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara will be taking your calls on another busy sports bar at 10 p.m. tonight with 4 Premier League games and a Championship game. Plenty to talk about with the boys on 03717 223344. And Manchester United fans, whatever the result tonight, I'm sure you will have plenty to say about the way your team has gone about its business again in front of you tonight here at Old Trafford. Sheffield United give the ball away. Oh, and Bruno Fernandes couldn't take the ball with him as it was slid through to him by Diallo. Offside anyway against Fernandes. And it will be a free kick to Sheffield United. Penny for the thoughts of Chris Wilder right now, Mickey Gray. He's led twice and been pegged back twice.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's a head scratcher, isn't it? I'd be so frustrated with Trusty bringing down Harry Maguire for that corner when he didn't really need to do it. Let's be honest with you. You know, when you get yourself in front 2 times at Old Trafford when you've had such a nightmare season when it comes to winning football matches, maybe that's what the things that go against you, Dance, isn't it?
And that does mean that unwanted goal scoring or goal conceding record is now Sheffield United's. They've now eclipsed Derby County with 90 goals conceded in a 38-game top flight season. Here comes Scott McTominay straight to up for Christian Eriksen in midfield. And listen to the warm round of applause for Scott McTominay, who used to be one of the targets for the Boo Boys, Mickey Gray, let's face it.
Yeah.
But he's shown just how invaluable he is for club and for country. He'll be at the Euros for Steve Clarke's Scotland in the summer. So will we across the TalkSport network. McTominay on for Eriksen, Mickey.
Yes, he's been very important, hasn't he, Scott McTominay, this season. And you're right, to try and win over 70,000 week in, week out when they were ridiculed, certainly when he was playing that midfield area alongside Fred, but he's came through that, full credit to him.
Here's Garnacho for Manchester United as suddenly the home side have their tails up a little bit more. 2-2 the score. Arblaster just whips it downfield down the right hand side, asking Brereton Diaz to give chase. Casemiro gets there just ahead of him. Not that slow, Casemiro. He can win the occasional charge against an opponent, and he beat Brereton Diaz to it and brought it clear. 2-2.
I think he needed a 15-yard head start though, Danson. There wasn't too much in it at the end of it.
Well, here's Garnacho, left-hand corner of the box as United pile forward again. Dallow on the overlap to the byline, sends it to the far post, and Osborne heads it behind, knowing that Diallo was just behind him. Another Manchester United corner, 2-2.
Well, defending's gone out of the window in this game, hasn't it? Just end-to-end football, and who's going to make the next mistake? Garnacho again, nice little reverse pass actually. When they get that ball into the box, you want numbers, you want somebody getting on the end of it.
Fernandes whips a corner in near post, and Dallow tried to touch it in right by the post, and I think he was turned behind by Arblaster. No, it's been given as a goal kick by the assistant on that far side. Dallow must have got the final touch, trying to sneak one in at the near post. Very clever idea. I think Arblaster may have got the last touch. That maybe should be another corner to the hosts.
Well, in the first half, Dance, he put 2 corners in Bruno Fernandes and he didn't beat the first man. I think this one was worked. Diego Dalot makes that run towards that near post. It's a great ball in from Fernandes, just the slightest touch, finds its way into the back of the net. I'm with you, I think that was good defending.
Just less than 25 minutes to go on TalkSport 2. And it's 2 apiece between the 2 Uniteds of Manchester and Sheffield. Bournemouth still leading at Wolves, but Milos Kerkez has been sent off. Straight red card for Kerkez. Harmer slides it out to Brereton Diaz and Sheffield United attack again. Brereton Diaz! Oh, the deflection takes it just the wrong side of the post for Sheffield United. Took the shot 25 yards out, smacked off the right ankle of Harry Maguire. Onana completely wrong-footed, but it went just into the side netting. It is though a corner to Sheffield United, a matter of inches preventing Sheffield United taking the lead for a 3rd time here.
It certainly is. Again, Casemiro giving the ball away. Quick break from Sheffield United. And unfortunately, not like the weekend when they did concede, this one they get away with United.
Corner for Sheffield United, headed away neatly by Diallo. Garnacho tries to bring it under control as he brings it clear, and he was fouled by Vinicius de Souza. And it will be a free kick to Manchester United and clear their line. So to update you on the scores elsewhere, Wolves 0, 10-man Bournemouth 1 into the last 10 minutes there. Crystal Palace 1, Newcastle 0. Everton 2, Liverpool 0. That's live on TalkSport. The Wolves and Palace games are live on the TalkSport app. And here on TalkSport 2 live at Old Trafford. We're at the midway point of the second half. McTominay goes in for a ball over the top, but out comes Foderingham bravely to claim the ball, and it remains Manchester United 2, Sheffield United 2 on TalkSport 2 with Now. Don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action like Everton versus Liverpool live right now, contract free with a Now Sports membership. Search Now Sports. Foderingham is still not picking himself up off the deck after claiming that ball just ahead of McTominay. Here's TalkSport 2's Mickey Gray.
Just wondering whether he's McTominay with the follow through there, Dan. There was no malice in it. Let's get that out there straight away. Whether he's just made contact with his hand or the top of his thigh. It looks as if he's in a bit of discomfort there, Foderingham, but it's that ball that seems to have worked for United in this second half. The one through the middle of the centre halves. But going back to that conversation I had with you in the first half.
Yeah.
I love Rasmus Højlund. I think he's an outstanding player. I think he's got everything as a centre forward. Yes, he's a young lad, but these wide players are not going to give him enough service to get 15-20 league goals a season, and it frustrates the life out of me because I think he's got everything. He's such a willing runner and works his socks off, but the poor lad just doesn't get the service. I know he went 7-7 a little bit earlier on the season, but he makes some great runs into the box. But these 2 wide players just want to get it onto their left or the right foot, cut inside and get the shots away themselves. You cannot play centre forward in this Manchester United team and expect to score 15-20 goals a season.
He must get the service he wants for his country, Denmark, because he's got 7 goals in 12 caps for the Danes. Foderingham still getting treatment. Live tomorrow night on TalkSport, it is Brighton against Manchester City from the Amex Stadium, and the live football keeps on coming. Mickey's old club Leeds United go to QPR. It's over to them in the Championship promotion race on Friday night. Live here on TalkSport to another 8 o'clock kickoff. Nigel Adderley and Sam Parkin will be at the Loft. And then game day on Saturday, I'm at Pride Park for the final day in League One. All the games in League One kick off at 12:30, including our commentary game Derby against already relegated Carlisle. Paul Simpson, of course, former Derby player, up against his old club. But can Derby get the point they need? They've got to match or better Bolton's result, and they will be back in the Championship. And all the important goals for the final day at 12:30. Meanwhile, West Ham Liverpool is live on TalkSport at the same time, and Liverpool may be going into that game in a dreadful mess in their title challenge. They're losing 2-0 at Everton at the moment, and Hull City have just gone ahead at Coventry. It's 3-2 now. They've gone level ahead again of the Tigers through Noah Ohio with 12 minutes to go at the CBS Arena. Play back underway. West Fodringham's okay. I nearly called him Woderingham then. Maybe that's his Brazilian name. I don't know. Newcastle Sheffield United is our TalkSport 2 commentary on Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock. Not on UK TV, as Max Rushton is fond of saying on the game day warm-up. And that will be Adam Bridge and Simon Grayson back with the TalkSport 2 commentary team after his coaching stint out in India. Garnacho for Manchester United at 2-2, less than 20 minutes to go, heads for the byline, tries to get past Bogle, he gets a foot in, it's only half clear. Dallow swings the ball back in over the head of McTominay, almost made it through to Hoyland at the far post, and then McAtee was fouled as he tried to bring the ball clear by Diallo. Two substitutes colliding there, and the free kick goes Sheffield United's way. What, Mickey Gray, is Sheffield United's approach? They're all square at Old Trafford with less than 20 minutes to play. How do they approach this, do you think?
Well, if you look at Manchester United's last 5 or 6 games in the Premier League and you look at how many late goals they've conceded and given up so many points, Dan, you have to keep going. You've got to try and get that winning goal if you possibly can, because this Man United team tire at the end. They get a little bit shaky, a little bit nervy. They start to give the ball away. They make mistakes. We saw it at the weekend against Coventry City. They'll know that there's chances out there. You just have to look at that Brereton Diaz opportunity.
Well, here's
deflection, it goes in.
Jayden Bogle, who scored the first tonight for Sheffield United, finds his captain Arblaster. De Souza, midway point of the Manchester United half, out to this near side, the right wing, and Arblaster tries to hit it beyond Garnacho. Bogle does well to keep possession for the Blades. It's worked back into their own half, and Mason Holgate on loan from Everton, who remember 2-0 up on Liverpool in the Merseyside derby. McAtee out to the left-hand side, and Osborne on the halfway line. Good quick feet from him. Plays a 1-2 with Trusty. Thought about sending a long ball downfield, but works it infield instead to Vinicius de Souza. And then it's a neat pass again from the Brazilian to find Gus Harmer, who can scamper over the halfway line. The diminutive midfielder slides it down the right channel for Bogle. Bogle with a cross off the back of Diogo Dallo. And I think that's Sheffield United's first corner of the evening at 2-2 with 17 minutes to play on TalkSport 2.
Well, it's come after some really good play. Build-up play from Sheffield United was fantastic down the right-hand side. Got in an opportunity to where they could put the ball into the box. Now you've got to just overload that 18-yard box. Get some space, just try and get on the end of it and make sure the quality's good from the corner.
Harmer will take the corner in front of those Sheffield United fans to our right. Short to Osborne, gives it back to Harmer, drives it across the face of goal. Brereton Diaz, it hits the United defender and then hooked over the bar wastefully by Ano Ahmedhodzic. And Manchester United survive another nervy moment in their own 18-yard box, and they have the goal kick, 2-2.
No, Dan, on a weekly basis in a build-up to a game, you work on the opposition and what type of set pieces they do, their corners. Well, I'm sure I've seen that from Sheffield United before, and as if these United players have just switched off again. 2v1 situation, great play from Hamer. Just has to whip that ball into a dangerous area. If it falls to a Sheffield United player, which it does in Brereton Diaz, a little bit of good fortune, it goes in the back of the net.
I'm not sure whether that was on target before it hit somebody from that Ben Brereton Diaz shot that was cleared away. Back it goes to Harry Maguire, who had brought Manchester United level at 1-1 in the first half. Just over a quarter of an hour to play on TalkSport 2. Casemiro in the centre circle, plays it to his right for Wan-Bissaka. Diallo gives it back to Casemiro on halfway. Everybody inside the Sheffield United half, aside from Andre Onana, as it's overhit by Maguire and through to the keeper. So it's currently 2-2 between Manchester United and Sheffield United. For the latest odds, head to William Hill, the official betting partner of TalkSport 2's Premier League coverage. Right now you can get Manchester United to go on and win at 3-4. If you fancy Sheffield United to take the lead again and hold on this time, that's priced at 10-1. The draw is 29-20. That's all thanks to William Hill. Get epic value all season with William Hill, 18+, and the website for all the details is begambleaware.org. Mickey Gray alongside me tonight.
Yeah, well,
Call these last 15 minutes for me, Mick.
stressful for both sides.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
for
yeah.
us, Dan, I have to say, but I talked about that long ball, and it's just happened again. And what happens is Harry Maguire this time with a long ball, yes, he put a little bit too much on it, but it's Hoyland the one who comes short, and McTominay's the one who's running it behind, and it's the only service that the poor lad's going to get. And I really do feel sorry for him. I think he's a terrific player, and in 7 or 8 other sides at the top of the Premier League, I think he gets those goals that I've been talking about. In this team, he's going to really struggle. He has to work wonders to score goals, and I really feel for him, and I hope that the powers that be at Manchester United look at that and they bring in the personnel that are going to help him out as a centre forward, because we talked about his international goals. He's a wonderful player.
Bruno Fernandes tried to latch onto a through ball that was just floated through by Wan-Bissaka. Just couldn't bring it down out of the sky. And a former Manchester United Academy graduate is coming on for Sheffield United, Oliver Norwood, who never made the grade at Old Trafford. And he's going to come on for Jayden Bogle, so a midfielder on for a right wing back. See what that means for Sheffield United's shape. Does that mean that Holgate's coming out to the right hand side? It does. Norwood's pushing infield, and I think they're telling Vinicius de Souza to help out as part of the back three.
I just wonder whether they go to a 4 as well, Dance. You know, a la Coventry City again at the weekend. I keep mentioning that, but it worked for them late on in the game without a doubt, and I think having that extra body in those midfield areas will certainly help Sheffield United with these tiring legs of Manchester United. Let's not forget, 120 minutes of football, the stress of playing in the semi-final. Yes, they got the job done, but it does take it out of you.
Pulls out a play for a Manchester United throw. We've got less than 13 minutes to play. There's a winner in this for either side, oddly enough, although Manchester United carrying the greater threat since getting themselves level on the hour. 2-2 the score if you're just tuning into TalkSport 2. Manchester United attacking the Stretford end to our left, and they have possession with Kobe Mainu. Wan-Bissaka lets the ball run out of play as it came off a Sheffield United boot for a throw-in.
And also going back to that point, Dance, the game management for Man United. Let's not forget, they're playing in front of their home supporters. They've been able to hold on to a lead. They're just really struggling. They're not in control of this game either.
Casemiro trying to whip across him from the right-hand side, but didn't get the connection he wanted at all. Very clever cushion header from Harry Maguire, tight to that far touchline. Kept in play by Casemiro. Mistake on the far side by Osborne, and the cross was whipped in looking for Garnacho, but it was well claimed by Foderingham, and it's Reece Holgate, who's now playing in that right wing back position, lays it off to Norwood. Doesn't look to me, Mickey Gray, that the Sheffield United shape has changed from that back three.
Yeah, and it surprises me. It really does. Chris Wilder, and I'm sure he's done his homework at the weekend and saw that Coventry put an extra body in midfield. It really helped them out in those final third positions, and you can see Garnacho looks really tired. Fernandes seems to play every single week, every single minute. They've got to run out of steam at some point in games.
Foderingham clears his lines. Osborne tries to head it back into play from the far side, but it's gone out for a throw. One or two Manchester United youngsters warming up. Ethan Wheatley was warming up just a moment or so ago. He's the kid that scored both goals when Manchester United won the Premier League Cup for the youth sides against their bitter rivals Manchester City. But he's just got to sit back down amongst the substitutes down beneath us. 2-2 the score. 10 minutes to go on TalkSport 2. Remember the sports bar coming up over on TalkSport at the end of all tonight's action. Here's Bruno Fernandes going for goal. Oh, what a magnificent hit from Bruno Fernandes with 10 minutes to go. Suddenly, Bruno pulls a rabbit out of the hat and scores a cracker from fully 25 yards out with his left foot. Foderingham, who's been brilliant all night, could do absolutely nothing as the ball ripped past him and Manchester United have not been at their best, but that's one of the best strikes you'll see all season. Bruno Fernandes makes it 6 goals in 5 appearances to make it Manchester United 3, Sheffield United 2. Finally they're in front.
Well, I mean, if there's going to be a goal that wins a football match, then that's it. I think Fodderman gets a little surprised at Fernandes actually taking that strike on with his left foot, but he's not closed down. You can see eventually Trusty comes out and might take a little slight deflection off his shoulders, but that's not to say that it wasn't going to hit the back of the net, because I thought it was. But Bruno's been the man to turn to, hasn't he, for goals for Manchester United, not just this season but pretty much since he's been in the club. But it's an outstanding strike, confident player with a confident strike and a super finish.
Well, Bruno Fernandes has fired Manchester United in front for the first time tonight, and Chris Wilder is now in conversation with Keith Andrews and his coaching staff to maybe see if they can now force their way back into the game, which they've led twice and now trail. Another goal fest at Old Trafford at both ends.
Yeah, well, we know that Manchester United have struggled all season to keep clean sheets, Stance. They've not had many. I think it's 8. But you know, at the other end, you give them opportunities. You want them to fall to the right people, and certainly has tonight. Fernandes with his first from the penalty spot, but you give him that amount of space and time, you know he's going to take the shot on, albeit with his weaker foot. But it's a great finish.
Scott McTominay, who's been the hero before with late goals to win Premier League games here at Old Trafford this season, has the ball for Manchester United on the halfway line. Amad Diallo chips it across to Harry Maguire. Back it goes from Maguire to Onana, being closed down by Brereton Diaz, but a good firm pass forward to Casemiro, and he just chips the ball down the right hand side, asking Hoyland to give chase. Foderingham comes outside his penalty area and nods it down, did quite well in the end, and then a handball by McAtee for Sheffield United gives Manchester United a free kick bang on halfway. 3-2 to the Red Devils.
Okay, so 7 minutes of normal time left, Dance, and quite a bit of added on time, I would have thought, maybe 5 or 6 minutes. Eric Ten Hag's talked about game management. It was in his press conference yesterday. This is what we want to see. This is game management. Do you actually go and try and win the game 4-2, or do you hold on to that ball as long as you possibly can and see out this game and pick up 3 points? That's what we're talking about when it comes down to game management. Well, this is that opportunity to show everybody.
That's the voice of Mickey Gray alongside me, Ian Dancer. Mickey, former England, Sunderland, Wolves fullback, Blackburn, Leeds.
Keep going.
Bruno Fernandes down the left-hand side for Dallo. McAtee getting back at him and puts it out of play for a throw. Yeah, don't forget Jamie O'Hara, he's had a few clubs, and Jason Cundy. They're taking your calls on the Sports Bar over on TalkSport straight after the conclusion of all tonight's Premier League action. 03717 223344. Here's Scott McTominay. Back for Aaron Wan-Bissaka as Mickey Gray's mum's trying to ring him. Doesn't realise he's at a football match. Come on, man.
And the first thing she'd say is, "Are you working?" Every single game. It's ridiculous.
Bruno Fernandes chests the ball down just inside the area, plays it across for Hoyland. He's got his goal, set up by Bruno Fernandes superbly, and he is the first person that Rasmus Hoyland heads toward. So grateful to his captain for setting that up, and Rasmus Hoyland wraps up the points for Manchester United with just over 5 minutes to play. He really couldn't miss, and he's enjoying that so much as he pumps his fist to the Stretford end. The Dane gets his goal to extend United's lead, and that's positive game management from those out on the field. It's now Manchester United 4, Sheffield United 2, Rasmus Hoyland.
Well, do you know what? Of all the goals we've seen tonight, Dance, I'm absolutely thrilled to pieces for Rasmus Hoyland, because he keeps going and going, he keeps making those runs, he doesn't get frustrated. He's had to bide his time, but that drive and run and that communication between himself and Bruno Fernandes, which been a lot of speculation about over the last couple of days. Does he pass the ball to him? Well, look at that. Brilliant, absolutely thrilled to pieces for him. He deserved that goal tonight. It's not been a brilliant performance, but you talk about work ethic, week in, week out. That young man deserves his goal tonight.
Well, his
absolutely
last
brilliant.
goal was in February at Luton Town. That's how long he's had to wait, Rasmus Højlund, to get back on a Premier League score sheet. But the man who cost £64 million from Atalanta is edging now towards double figures in his first Premier League season. Now James McAtee has had to go off, having come on for Sheffield United. He's picked up a knock there, the Manchester City loanee, and so William Asula has come on to take his place for Sheffield United. Asula, who's 20 years of age, he doesn't look it. Big old frame, William Asula. 3 FA Cup goals this year for him, but he hasn't scored in the Premier League as yet. Chris Wilder getting that sinking feeling once again, and more goals conceded by Sheffield United. That's now 92 goals that the Blades have let in this season. And remember, the previous record for concessions in the Premier League was Derby with 89 goals. So they've eclipsed that already, and they've still got a number of games to play this season. You wouldn't bet against, no, I don't wish to be unkind, but you don't bet against 100 goals conceded. Well, at this rate.
Newcastle to play Dance next up as well, who scored a heap load of goals against them at Bramall Lane.
That's live on TalkSport 2 Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock from St James's Park. What a free kick Sheffield United, as Harmer was brought down by Casemiro, who I've noticed is wearing gloves. We are in early April. Oh no, Mickey Gray's wearing gloves.
I've got one on.
What, like Michael Jackson?
He's running around though.
Why have you got one glove on? Oh, because you can't write with the one that would have a glove on, right?
Exactly.
Okay. You can't hold a pen with a glove on. We've got to buy you better gloves.
Yeah. The other one's got a hole in it.
Oh dear, Mickey. We're not paying you enough.
No.
He said no, he actually agreed with me. Anyway, free kick to Sheffield United. 2 minutes of normal time to play. 4-2. And Sheffield United have a free kick just to the right of centre, about 35 yards out, and Gus Harmer's going to hit this. No doubt he's going to go for goal here, the former Coventry City man from the Netherlands. The Manchester United wall standing inside the D gives you an idea of how far out this is. Harmer, right-footed, bends it round the wall, and it's only just the wrong side of the post. He did go for it. I think Onana had it covered, in fairness to him, and it's a goal kick to Manchester United. 4-2.
Well, he certainly got Andre Onana interested in the free kick from Gustavo Hamer there, didn't he? I mean, he whipped it pretty much round the wall. This is by a foot or so. Good opportunity.
Going to be a double change for Manchester United, and Sofyan Amrabat is going to come on, the Turkish international who starred at the World Cup. Now Harmer again down the right hand side for Sheffield United, drives into the area, tries to pull it across, and the former Blade, Harry Maguire, the old slab head there to put it behind for a corner kick to the Blades. Goal at Selhurst Park, and Crystal Palace have doubled their lead against Newcastle, and it's Jean-Philippe Mateta again for the Eagles. And Bournemouth, despite going down to 10 men, have beaten Wolves at Molineux by a goal to nil. What a great season Andoni Iraola is having. Corner for Harmer, headed across the face of goal and pushed out by Onana for Manchester United. Sheffield United going close to a third. They've kept possession and swung it back out to Gus Harmer on this right hand side. Drives to the edge of the area, goes for goal, and it's blocked behind for another corner off the legs of Casemiro. 4-2 Manchester United.
They're pressing still, Sheffield United, aren't they? They're losing, but they still want to enjoy themselves and try and get themselves back into this game.
Slightly loose pass from Oliver Norwood, and he acknowledges it. They'll go into 5 minutes of added time, and the double change will be made at this point, I think, by Manchester United. Eric Ten Hag just having a word with Paul Tierney, the fourth official, and it's a first team debut for Ethan Wheatley, coming on from Rasmus Højlund, who did finally get his moment after going a couple of months without a goal, he's getting a nice ovation from everyone around Old Trafford the day as he comes off. But there should be an equally loud ovation for the 18-year-old who's coming on, the academy graduate who I mentioned scored twice to win the Premier League Cup for Manchester United against Manchester City. Ethan Wheatley, welcome to the Premier League.
Yeah, fantastic moment, Dance, in a moment that he will never forget. He's gone out there, whether it's 4, 5, 6 minutes, whatever he gets, he will enjoy every single moment. And then you're at the end of the scale there, Amrabat, who's not played too much football of late, has he?
Well, he's got 9 minutes, well 8 really, because there's 9 minutes added on. Mainoo's come off incidentally to allow Sofian Amrabat to come on. So the Moroccan is on for added time along with Wheatley, who's a tall young man, 18 years of age. He's got to be at least 6'1", 6'2", I would say, having my first proper look at him.
Definitely got that physical presence, hasn't he?
And he's just trying to spin round Austin Trustees. The ball's played up to Bruno Fernandes on halfway, but good interception by Vinicius de Souza. So Manchester United 4, Sheffield United 2. We're into those 9 minutes of added on time. Wheatley goes to close down Trusty and fouls him. That's a free kick for Sheffield United.
The first thing he was going to do was pick a yellow card up.
Well, he did look at the referee just fleetingly for a moment there, Ethan Wheatley, and thought, no, please, no. He's just intercepted the ball from Ahmed Hodzic and it just ricochets back to West Foderingham. So he's putting it in at the top of the pitch for Manchester United in these early minutes of his fledgling Premier League life. Still 2-0 to Everton against Liverpool. They're in the closing stages there on TalkSport at Goodison Park. Liverpool blowing the chance to go back level with Arsenal at the top. Manchester City play tomorrow night at Brighton, live on TalkSport. That's another 8 o'clock kickoff. We're on air from 7 p.m. at the Amex with Hugh Wozencroft, Sam Matterface and Scott Minto. Ian Dancer and Mickey Gray with you on TalkSport 2 at Old Trafford. And we're 3 minutes into the 9 that have been added on here. And there's an air of contentment around Old Trafford that was most definitely not there about 30 odd minutes ago. Here though is Mason Holgate trying to play a 1-2 with Harmer, getting down the right hand side of the box, but he can't get the better of Garnacho back doing his defending, and Manchester United have a goal kick. 4-2 they lead, and this is the sort of game management that you were talking about, Mickey Gray.
No, absolutely, and full credit to Garnacho there. I'd say he's had his best game in a Manchester United shirt tonight, but you want to see from your wide players in the final minutes of the game is helping out defensively. Full credit to him, and talk about that airiness in the stadium, Dance. I think that's the first time I've heard the United fans tonight.
Here is Bruno Fernandes charging through the middle of the pitch, but a good interception to win it back from Arblaster. A lovely pirouette from Vinicius de Souza, but he's lost out. Here's Bruno Fernandes trying to slip it through for Wheatley, but it just ricocheted away from the youngster and through for the goalkeeper West Foderingham. Hull City have beaten Coventry City by 3-2 tonight. That means they have gone 3 points behind Norwich with 2 games to play in the Championship. Hull. Coventry can still catch Norwich. They're 9 points behind with 3 games themselves to play, one of which is against Ipswich, a game you can hear next Tuesday night live on TalkSport 2 at the CBS Arena. I'll be there alongside Adrian Clark for that one. And where will Ipswich be? Because the Ipswich also playing on Saturday night at Hull. That's live on TalkSport 2. Garnacho gets a shot away and is blocked by Foderingham. Comes out to him once more, tries the second shot, cleared away by Norwood. But onto the scene comes Casemiro, but a foul against Norwood gives Sheffield United a goal kick. Yeah, that's an 8 o'clock kickoff on Saturday evening at the MKM. Hull against Ipswich. So that's a great game in prospect to round off your Saturday evening listening of live football on TalkSport 2 with Hull City. All the incentive they want to try and close the gap on Norwich. Norwich themselves on Saturday are at home to Swansea, who've been playing a bit better of late under Luke Williams. I can't call that promotion race. Although Leicester were brilliant last night, Mickey, I have to say. I was there at the King Power against Southampton. They were so good.
Yeah, they were. I think you have to say, Dan, so all the sides at the top of the table have had their moments where you think it's not going to be their year, which is why it's so open. I think that game pretty much put Southampton out of it, didn't it? It's out of the three sides, Leeds, Ipswich and Leicester City, but it certainly looks like Leicester are going to get themselves promoted. But
and Leeds play QPR on Friday night. That will start your weekend of football listening off on TalkSport 2 at Loftus Road. Sam Parkin will be alongside Nigel Adderley at the Loft.
oh dear.
Maguire and Onana almost got a right old pickle in the centre of their own half, but Onana did eventually get the ball downfield. That was why you heard Mickey Gray going, "Oh dear," which was quite
To me, to
tame for
you, to me, to you.
Yeah. Here is Ben Osborne sliding the ball up to Asula, who holds the ball up quite well. Norwood tries to poke it through to D'Souza, who's caught on his heels. One back by Manchester United and slid up to Garnacho. 6 minutes of added time have gone. Garnacho, Wheatley making the run across, has a good dummy run which almost allowed the ball to slip through to Amad Diallo. It does eventually make its way through to Diallo, right hand side, down by the corner flag. Right hand side for Diallo, trying to roll the defender, only half cleared. A reminder, if Leeds lose on Friday night at QPR, then Leicester City will be promoted back to the Premier League at the first time of asking. Bruno Fernandes plays the ball across the face of goal, but too firmly beyond everybody in a red shirt inside the box. Garnacho did well to retrieve out to this near touchline. 97 minutes gone. Manchester United 4, Sheffield United 2. The points are safe, surely, for Eric Ten Hag's men. And Palace have beaten Newcastle by 2-0, a brace from Jean-Philippe Mateta. So Newcastle are going to be leapfrogged by Manchester United in that race for that final European spot for the Conference League. And although people like Andy Goldstein don't want Europa Conference League football, I think Eric Ten Hag might fancy it. Just the idea to have a bit of extra football to blood youngsters.
Yeah.
It's done Villa no harm this season, let's face it.
Absolutely, yeah. New faces coming through the door in the summer as well.
Here's Bruno Fernandes for Manchester United. Lets the ball run across his body. Just down to the right-hand side. Look for Wheatley at the near post, but Ahmed Hodzic got him just in front of him. Oh, he must have lit up there for a moment, Wheatley.
Yeah, oh,
Instead
absolutely.
he's back with McTominay.
He's made two great runs, I have to say, Dan. The ball hasn't fell to his feet, Ethan Whitley, but Bruno Fernandes has tried to play him in on a couple of occasions, and within a space of an inch, it's fallen to his foot just to pop it into the back of the net. And what a moment that would be in front of the Stretford end as well.
Instead it's back with Austin Trusty. Lays it back to his goalkeeper, Wes Foderingham, who has been beaten 4 times tonight, but he's been superb at times for Chris Wilder's men. They might have a bit more goalkeeping to do right at the end of the game, because a free kick's been won by Bruno Fernandes right in the middle of the Blades half. Ben Brereton Diaz went down off the ball as well for some reason on the other side of the pitch, but I think this will be the last action of the night, with Manchester United having a free kick at the midway point of the Sheffield United half. 4-2.
Well, I think this one's a little bit too far out to take the strike on, isn't it? It looks like they're going to take a short free kick, but there's seconds left in the game, Dan. So look, they've got the job done, haven't they?
And there goes the full-time whistle.